What's going on, good people? It is time for a book review with Backpack, and y'all know what's in the bag. John C. Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It's a great book. If you're a company, if you're a business, if you're an organization, this is definitely a book that you are going to want to check out. Reason being is because it forces you to do self-evaluations. It doesn't just teach you the 21 Laws of Leadership. It also asks you some questions at the end of each chapter so that you can put yourself in a position to ask, okay, am I doing these things and where can I make some improvements? So let's go over the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. Law number one, the law of the lid. Leadership only goes as far as its leaders. When you think about a business, when you think about a company or an organization, that company only goes as far as its leader allows that company or takes that company. You think about a team, that team is only going to go as far as the coach and the leaders and the players who are leaders on that team. Continuing with law number one, the higher you want to climb, the more you will need leadership. The greater impact, the greater your influence needs to be. Personal success without leadership brings limited effectiveness. I love that last quote. Personal success without leadership brings limited effectiveness. Basically, that's saying that you can be successful on your own, but without leadership and without developing leadership within your company, within your organization, you're not going to be able to go as far as you would like to go. Law number two, the law of influence. This is one of my favorite laws here. Titles don't have much value when it comes to leadership. We think about when we go into a business or an organization, when you hear the word supervisor, when you hear manager, team lead, that those people are leaders. Just because they have a title, it does not always mean that these people are the leaders within the organization. I've been at many organizations where I felt like I could have done this project much faster, much more effective than those who were ahead of me. But because of their title, I didn't have the right to be able to lead this team. Just because someone has a title does not mean that they are an effective leader. Okay, we're talking about effective leadership here. Leadership cannot be assigned, award, or appointed. What is a leader? A leader, he talked about some great qualities and characteristics of a leader. Number one, leaders have great character, who they are. Leaders have knowledge, what they know. Leaders have great relationships, who they know. Leaders have intuition, what they feel. Leaders have experience, where they've been. Leaders have past success, what they've done. And leaders have ability, what they can do. Some amazing characteristics of a leader. Law number three, law of the process. Leadership is like investing. It grows over time. It compounds. And leaders learn from other leaders are learners. I love this law as well. It's one of those things where you go into an organization and you really have to develop and grow your leadership as a person when you're going into an organization. A lot of people try to go into organizations and start making changes and things like that already, and they wonder why they get a little bit of backlash from the people who are already in that organization. And the reason being is because you haven't shown them what you are capable of as a leader. Just because you came in here as a new supervisor and you were vetted by the superiors does not mean that we're going to follow you as a leader. Law number four, the law of navigation. Followers need a good leader. Leaders learn from other leaders. Know your weakness and hire them. So let's tackle a couple of those really quick. Essentially, man, followers need a good leader. If you're not a good leader, a lot of people are not going to follow you. They're not going to be inclined to follow you. You're going to wonder why you're on this journey on your own. You're going to wonder why why isn't anyone following me? Well, it's probably because you need to do some self-evaluation, like at the end of this chapter, and you need to start asking yourself, why are people not following me? Leaders learn from other leaders. I mean, honestly, guys, the old saying, blind leads the blind. It's that same situation, but in reverse. If you what good leaders do is they learn from other good leaders. And I will say that this is one of the things that I practice as often as I possibly can, is learning from those who have done what it is that I'm trying to do, or who are doing what it is that I'm trying to do at this same point in their lives. You have to learn from other leaders that you aspire to and that you look up to. Know your weakness and hire them. Man, one of the things that amazing leaders do is they know what their They know what their gifts are. They know where they're weak, and they hire them. Look, 50 Cent has an amazing quote that says, "I didn't go to Harvard, but the people who work for me did." If you are in a position where you know that you're weak in one spot, you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who are phenomenal in the spots that you are weak in. Law number 5, leaders add value by serving others. Man, I love this law too, man. One thing that a lot of people get misconstrued about leaders is that they don't serve other people. Listen, I can get so many more people to work for me and do things for me simply by pouring back into them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ask anyone on my team to do anything that I wouldn't do. And that's the basic law of this one. Law number 6, law of solid ground. Trust is the foundation of leadership. I mean, let's be honest, guys. If you don't have trust in a relationship, you don't have nothing. And that's in a relation. That's in an intimate relationship. That's in a business relationship. That is in whatever it is. The easiest way to maintain trust is to always be honest. It doesn't matter if something goes wrong. People are going to respect you more when you tell them the truth about what went wrong, as opposed to lying to them about how or why it went wrong. Continuing with this law, what a man is survives him. His character can never be buried, right? Solid ground. This solid ground, who you are as a man, what your character is really defines who you are as a person and what people will remember about you. And in this part of the book, they gave an example of, when a man is buried, he is buried, but who he is survives him. The character of him survives him. And that is true leadership. And 3 words that were associated with this were integrity, authenticity, and discipline. Law number 7, the law of respect. A measure of a leadership is the caliber of people who choose to follow you. Y'all, this is so important, man. Birds of a feather flock together. If you show me, if you show me 9 broke individuals, or if you hang around 9 broke individuals, you are bound to be number 10. If you are in a group and you are calling yourself a leader, look at the people that are around you and ask yourself, are these people that I would actually associate myself with? And if they're not, then you know that you are not as good of a leader as you would want to be. You have to look at the people who are willing to follow you. And the reason being is because a first-rate man will surround himself with his equals and other men who are great on a greater level than him. A second-rate man will find himself with third-rate men. A third-rate man will find himself with fourth and fifth-rate men, and so on and so on. So if you believe that you're a good leader, look at the people that are following you. Look at the people that you associate with. It's an easy teller. Law number 8, the law of intuition. You are what you see. I truly believe you are what you see. A leader has an innate a feeling of intuition that just can't be explained sometimes. It's either you got it or you don't. Make good leadership decisions with only 40 to 60% of info. So one of the things that great leaders do, man, is they do not require a lot of information in order to make an informed decision. They trust their intuition. They trust their gut. There's something inside of a leader that just bursts and that just comes out where they're just like, you know what, this is the way. I don't know how I know. I just know. With great leadership, when you're talking about going in a direction, oftentimes you don't know how you know what you know, but you just know that you know what you know. If that makes sense to you, you're probably a good leader. Law number 9, the law of magnetism. You attract what you are. Yo, I love this law too. This was definitely one of my favorites. In the beginning, he said, ask people around you, what qualities would they say that you have, and write those qualities down. And so I wrote down some qualities about myself that I would want in I wrote down qualities about myself. And then in the second part of the chapter, he said, okay, if you are looking for these qualities in someone else, but you don't possess them yourself, it's going to be difficult for you to find those qualities in someone else. You have to exhibit the things that you would want the people around you to have. And I'm not talking about the gift. He's not talking about the gift here. Like if you're, I don't want you all to get confused in terms of, if I'm good at shooting videos and he's good at making videos, he's good at editing. No, he's not talking about that. He's talking about the qualities of being loyal, of being honest, of being, effective, of being a caring person. If you are those things, then you will attract those people into your life. Law number 10, the law of connection. The heart comes before the head. This was one that definitely hit home with me because I always lead with my head and not with my heart. Tell a story. If you're a speaker, if you're anyone, tell a story first and then engage the facts. A lot of people tend to engage facts and then try to put the story behind it. No, tell a story. People connect more when they hear us. People will learn and remember more when they hear a story that they connect with. If you want to lead yourself, use your head. If you want to lead others, use your heart. I thought that was beautiful. Law number 11, the law of the inner circle. You can do what I cannot do. I can do what you cannot do. Together, we can do great things. And that was a quote in the book by Mother Teresa. Law of your inner circle. Again, I think this quote pretty much explains it. Making sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who want to be successful. Success comes not from what you know, but from who you know and how you present yourself to those people. Simply, if you want to be successful, you got to get around successful people and they will lead you in a direction of success. I promise you that. Law number 12, the law of empowerment. This was another amazing law. The best executive is one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants done and self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with them while they do it. And I believe this was a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, President Roosevelt. Listen, y'all, it's so it's like this is one of the biggest things that I talk about as a leader, right? If you're a car, if we're a car and I'm the engine, and I was just having this conversation the other day with a guy who I'm asking to do some t-shirt designs for me. If we're a car and I'm an engine, I cannot be worried about what you are doing as the tires, as the headlights, as the windshield wipers. My job is to focus on being the engine and focus on what it is that I have to do to continue to move us forward. I have to trust that I hired, that I got good people in the position to be these tires. I have to trust that I got good tires. I have to trust that I got good brakes. I have to trust that I have good headlights and good windshield wipers to make this a well-oiled machine. We get into a point when we are in leadership where we know leaders who micromanage. I'm not in the business of micromanaging. I don't want to micromanage anyone, and I don't want to handcuff your creativity. I don't want to handcuff your talent. I hired you for a reason. I put you in this position for a reason because I am aware of what it is that you're doing. When I sat down and I had a conversation with Nico, I said, hey, look, man, I don't want to handcuff anything that you do. When we create these videos, I want you to go at it, man. I want you to have fun with it, man. Play with it. Do some stuff that you wouldn't see. You know what I mean? Try it out. Let's try some things. I want you to have fun with this, because when you start to handcuff people and you start to micromanage people, people will not have fun with what it is that you're asking them to do. So allow the people that you have hired, you put them in that position for a reason, allow them to do their jobs and leave them the hell alone. Leading well is not about enriching yourself. It is about empowering others. Yo, I think that this is so amazing. Leadership is not about enriching yourself. It's about empowering others, y'all. This is so important and so significant. And the reason why I say that is because great leaders are able to empower others to do for them. And the way that they empower others to do for them is simply by showing appreciation. Appreciation is something when I go into companies and I hear, different employees, appreciation is something that is not often given to employees, but it's the little things that you can do for your employees that will make them work so much harder for you in the long run. The number one enemy of empowerment is is the fear of losing what we have. Listen, the reason why leaders oftentimes micromanage is because they're fearful of what they may lose. Listen, if you are afraid of allowing this person to do the job that you have hired them to do, then maybe you need to do a better job of hiring someone. You need to start looking at yourself and taking ownership. Great leaders gain authority by giving it away. Yo, I thought that this was such an amazing quote. Again, man, if you want to gain authority, if you want to gain that authority over the people who are working for you and in your organization, give that authority away, and people will respect you so much more when they feel like, hey, he doesn't have to hold my hand through everything. And the final quote on law Number 12, probably my second favorite law, is to push people down, you have to go down with them. It is so easy to feel like you are on top when you're pushing everyone down. But realize, in order to push someone down, you have to go down with them, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to keep your hands on them. Law number 13, the law of the picture. Yo, I love this law as well. Mission provides purpose, vision provides a picture, strategy provides a plan. I think that's pretty much self-explanatory. It's just talking about the overall picture of whatever your vision is. Leaders are practical and highly visionary. I believe that myself. I am highly practical. A lot of people know me. I'm very black and white. There really isn't much room for gray area, and if there is, that just means that it either needs to be colored in more so that it can be black, or it needs to be washed out so that it can be white. Either way, it's still black or white. And highly visionary. I'm a visionary person. I love to, just to vision what life will be like after we accomplish something. If bosses come in late, employers do as well. Listen, the culture of a business is literally predicated on what leaders do. When I've been at so many companies where they supervisors, they require their people to come in early. They want their people to come in on time, show up to meetings on time, but you're not showing up to meetings on time. How can you expect anyone to show up to something on time if you don't even show up on time? Your business will be a reflection of who you are and what you are. My coach used to say this all of the time. Teams become who their coach is. And if you're a particular type of way, your players are going to be a particular type of way as well. Leaders tell but never teach until they practice what they are teaching. I thought that was a great quote as well. Law number 14, the law of the buy-in. People don't first follow worthy causes, they follow worthy leaders who promote causes that they believe in, y'all. Again, you can say that you believe in something, but if you're not a good leader, if you're not a person who the people want to follow, they won't follow you for too long. Law number 15, the law of the victory. When the pressure is on, great leaders are at their best. Whatever is inside of them comes to the surface. I mean, when the pressure is on, you think about athletes. He gave a couple of different examples of athletes in this, but if you're an athlete, when the game is tightest, that is literally when you are at your best. When big players make big plays in big games at big moments. It's one of my favorite quotes that one of my coaches used to say. Leadership is responsible. Losing is acceptable. Passion is unquenchable. Creativity is essential. Quitting is unthinkable. Commitment is unquestionable. Victory is inevitable. If you're a great leader, you just find a way to win. It does not matter how you do it, but for some reason, you always find a way to win. Law number 16, law of the big Mo. Leaders create and sustain momentum. Momentum is one of the most effective tools of a leader. And when you gain momentum, you tend to push momentum. And then you continue to find ways to sustain that momentum. And that could be by putting other people in position to help you continue to move forward in momentum. Law number 17, law of priorities. Busyness does not equal productivity, and a leader must define reality. I thought that this one was also a pretty quick and easy one. In terms of what your priorities are, there are going to be so many different things that you're going to want to accomplish as a business, but a great leader knows where the priorities lie and they tackle those things first, okay? And that's the reason why you develop other leaders to attack some of those smaller priorities so that you can hit the big ones. Law number 18, law of the sacrifice. This one was a great metaphor that he talked about. In order for a leader to be successful, they are going to have to sacrifice something. If you believe that you're going to go on this journey of doing whatever it is that you want to do and you're not going to have to sacrifice something great, you are going to have to sacrifice something. He gave this metaphor of an auction. You ever notice that when you auction off something and it starts really, really low, everybody's bidding, but then as the price gets higher, you only see a few people bidding at this point. And the reason being is because the higher the price, the less people are willing to pay for it. And that's the same thing when it comes to success. The higher the price of whatever it is that you want, the less people are willing to pay for it. So are you going to be one of those people that are willing to pay for what it is that you want? Law number 19, the law of timing. Understanding, maturity, confidence, decisiveness, experience, intuition, preparation. Listen, y'all, timing is everything. And in order to be an effective leader, you have to, it's important to keep all of those things in consideration when you're talking about making a move, when you're ready to make a move. He gave a couple of war examples. He gave a couple of examples about things that happen in this world. One of them was like Hurricane Katrina. You have to understand when it comes to time and when you're thinking about doing something, you have to have an understanding, have maturity, confidence, decisiveness, experience, intuition, and preparation. Law number 20, the law of explosive growth. Leaders are naturally impatient. Listen, I just put that in there because I was like, yes, I knew it. I knew it. I'm impatient for a reason. It's because I'm a leader. But invest in people and build other leaders. The law of explosive growth. Listen, if you all want to grow your business, if you want to grow your company, you have to start growing the leaders that are in your company, that are in your business. That is the best way to be successful, is to develop other leaders. And with that being said, the final law, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, is law of legacy. And I'm just going to end it on this quote right here because I think this quote stands alone and I really think it sums up the law of legacy. Achievement comes when you do big things yourself. Success comes when you empower others to do big things for you. Significance is developed when a leader empowers other leaders to do great things with them, and legacy is the legacy is captured when you put other leaders in position to do great things without you. If you are leaving a legacy, you are not just leaving your kids money, or you're not just leaving your organization in a successful space. You are leaving your organization in a successful space and they are able to continue to sustain without you. Look at Steve Jobs and what he did with Apple. He put Apple in a position to be successful. And even years later without him, Apple is still creating new products, still revolutionizing products, and still leading in so many areas of technology. So if you want to leave a legacy, you have to make sure that you are putting other leaders in position to be successful without you. Hey, y'all, look, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the podcast, In My Bag with Backpack Jeff. If y'all have any books that y'all want me to read, please drop those books in the comments. I want to make sure that I'm getting to every book I possibly can. If you want me to read your book, drop your book in the comment. Hey, look, it's Backpack. You know I'm always in my bag. And today, again, we are in our bag with John C. Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. On to the next book.